The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. From the offices of Duke & Duke, 100 South Broad Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, zip code 19174. We are talking today about the DAX index. As you can see, folks, this does not look like a bearish chart. We've had some higher bottoms after we made that big 1.618 expansion to the downside. It still looks like it has legs to the upside. If we take a look at the FTSE, we're going to see a totally different picture because this market certainly does not look the same. It is, we've got lower tops all the way through here. We've got a couple of lower bottoms, but the lower tops go back a very long way. So this is still a bearish chart, even though we've had three higher bottoms here over the past day or two, but it still has some bearishness built into it. Whether it turns down or not, it needs to get below 7,100 in order to take out those bottoms, and then you'd start to see another leg to the downside. Now, one of the big things talking about tonight is because of, this morning because of Peter Thiel, one of the developers of PayPal, along with Elon Musk, was talking about Bitcoin, and boy, Bitcoin is just getting hit all over the place with negative news. Google has now did something to him. I don't know exactly what put him in the corner and made him wear a dunce hat. I'm not sure what it is. But we went down to that 61% retracement at the 8,000 level, went below it for a little bit, for 2 days, and then we're trading above it right now. So whether it can hold this level or not, I don't know. But anything below, if one of those bars closes below 7,900, I would think we're going to be heading down most probably to the $5,000 level, which was a really strong area of resistance for a long time. But whether that'll happen or not, remains to be seen. We're going to have Norm Winsky as our guest at the break. At the break at the half hour. Always a lot of fun to have Norm on. He gives us some good information and some superior trading dates. But I want to change something, make it a little different here on what we usually talk about. And I'd like to talk to you about money, folks. And money in our business is calculated, by the margin you use in trading. So let me just, someone's asking a question. John Jameson is incredibly bullish Bitcoin long term, and I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years out the road. And basically that's what he's going to hold off putting on the letter because he's doing some things with some folks across the pond over there, and he just doesn't have the time to do it right now. But he does have a really strong affinity for Bitcoin, and the two that he likes the most are Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course. And then he has this other one called Cordero. It's the symbol on that is ADA. It sells for about 40 cents. And he thinks that has a possibility of being something really big. And the main reason is one of the developers of Ethereum split off and moved to Hong Kong. His name was Charles Hodgkinson, and he is working out of Hong Kong. But they are so far from developing anything that is really a pig in the poke. The good part about ADA or Cordero is your downside is only 40 cents. So that's the bottom line. And whether it'll work or not, I don't know. But I believe that cryptocurrencies are pretty much like we were back in 1242 AD when Leonardo da Pisa, the Fibonacci came out and talked about the, how these numbers all related, changing us from Arabic numbers to arithmetic numbers. And I think we're probably somewhere in that ballpark. When you listen to someone like Peter Thiel talk, you have to pay attention because he's a brilliant man. And, he thinks it's for real. Other people don't, but, that's how you make a chocolate cake. Some people like chocolate cake. Some people like strawberry cake. It just depends on what you like. Let's take a look here at this. This is what I want to talk about is the money here, folks. Let me get this up here. and show you. This is the listing. This is actually Goldman Sachs's. These are the contract specifications for some of the more popular traded futures. If you'll notice, the margin on corn is only $605. Now you get control $15,000 worth of corn, folks. Actually, it's $18,000 worth of corn for $605. Look what you can do on the. You can trade for $16,000. You can trade $151 is all your margin is. That's only 3 cents in corn. So, they're giving you a lot of different opportunities. The main ones that I'd really like for you to look at is take a look at the euro currencies. You're trading at around $2,300 as the margin. The contract size is $100,000. But look at the day trade margin. You see, it's extremely small. I mean, it's 25%. I mean, that's really a good one. And then look at the Japanese yen and all the Australian dollar and the Canadian dollar. These are really, really low risk. And the fact is the liquidity is so great on this that you're able to control your risk within limits, of course. And so they give you all of the, the volatility and the leverage that you need. Now, leverage has two sides. In other words, if you misuse leverage, you're doomed, because leverage can turn around and bite you on the kabuki, and you don't want that to happen. It's a good thing when you're making money, but it's a bad thing when you're losing money. So you have to learn, to cut back leverage, when you're losing. That's very important. One thing, there are two things that, in our business of commodities and foreign exchange and stuff, you should never answer a margin call. And the reason for that is, if you answer a margin call, you're doing two of the most critical things that we have in our business wrong. One is you're not controlling your risk. That's the number one thing, because you're increasing your risk. And number two is your position is wrong. You've done something wrong. Your technical idea or your fundamental idea is wrong if you're answering a margin call. So get out of it. And let's say you have multiple positions on. Let's say you're long the mini S&P, you're long crude oil, and you're long the Canadian dollar, and you're short corn, and all of a sudden you're getting a margin call on soybeans. Well, the thing that you should do is liquidate the soybean. That's the one that's hurting you. Get rid of the things that are bothering you. That's really what you really should do. But people do it just the opposite. They want to get the money back, and they end up paying the price. It goes to what Roy Longstreet said in his book, Viewpoints of a Commodity Trader, and that is your first mistake teaches, the second mistake kills. And that's what you don't want to do, is don't make that second mistake, because it's all about money. It's all about risk control. Have very, very strong support or respect for your leverage that you use. It can be used in your favor, of course, if you learn how to do it. But that's the main thing. But don't ever answer a margin call. That tells you that you've done something wrong. And then if you do, you've just doubled your problem. And that's the main thing. It's okay to add to winners, but boy, don't ever add to losers. That's my number one rule on this painting behind my my desk here above the fireplace. So I'll tell you, that's the one thing you don't want to do. I think the number of times I've done it in my 58-year career, I don't think I've maybe once or twice has it ever turned out good. And usually, that's not good. I've sat with some big losses at times. Back in the old days, but don't do that anymore. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, someone's asked me what was the most important chart of the week that I posted. I'm putting up the chart here of the NASDAQ monthly. This comes from my good friend Jim Bartolioni. And what it's looking at here is the market from 1974 going back to October of that year, showing you the NASDAQ chart. But the thing to pay attention to is the fact if you look at the BC swing that's there, right where the W has formed, and you multiply that times 1.618, that takes you exactly to the high tick that we had on Monday. Point 2. If you take the AB swing going back to 1974 when they first started, I think the NASDAQ started in 72. I'm not even sure when it was, but it was way back in those days. I remember Norm Winsky, who probably could tell us because he's going to be our guest here at the half hour. But if you measure that AB swing and multiply it times 1.27, you come out with the exact number that we had at the 1.618 expansion. Is this important? From a technical standpoint, if you believe in Fibonacci and the numbers of sacred geometry, it is incredibly important because we didn't make new highs in any of the other indices other than the composite for the NASDAQ. The Dow didn't, the S&P, nor the Russell. The Russell came close, and it still might do it, but this number is incredibly important, and should we get above it, that tells you could probably go a whole lot higher. But right now, that's putting a little bit of pressure on the NASDAQ because of this chart. I don't understand the fundamentals, but I can tell you that 1.618 number is very, very important. Regarding the gold, folks, I still think we've got a pretty good chance. This is what we were looking at yesterday, and of course we went down and we touched the 1314 again last night. Let's get this up here to see it. I haven't updated my gold chart as of yet, but we did go down to 1314. We got down to 13.50 last night, rallied about $6. We're trading around 13.19. Folks, to me, the gold is heading towards 1280. There's just got so much there that hope we got our answer on the NASDAQ right here. It was February 8th, 1971. Thank you, Mr. Winsky, and we'll have him on in just about 10 minutes. But thanks a lot, Norm. But we'll be watching it here as we talk about it when you bring up your charts a little bit later. But the gold has just got so many things coming into that 1280 level that it's amazing. I did a radio show last night as a guest spot out of Melbourne, Australia. I did 3 of them in a row the last 3 Fridays. And, you know, we went over gold and silver quite extensively. And the more we looked at the charts together, you know, with the audience, the more clearer it became that silver is heading towards $15 an ounce and gold is heading towards $12.80. And I'm very, very bullish long term. You know, that's the thing that I find it really hard to be. Look at gold like this, folks. I just want to show you the long-term chart on this. There's nothing bearish about this at all. If you take a look at this, this is making a nice correction after, you know, 3 tops. I will say this, when we get above 1375 and you're not long gold, you better turn in your chart pencil, because that leads to a move of close to $1,500, another $125 higher. Now, how to get into it, you'll have to wait and see. But as you can see here, look at this level at 1285. I mean, it's just got everything set up, you know, just everything you could possibly look for. You've got a 3 drive to a bottom pattern there. You've got a perfect 61% retracement from the low in December when we had the 3 drive to a bottom pattern. You're at a 382 retracement of the low from way back in June of last year. I mean, it's just got so many things saying that it wants to go there that I'll be really surprised if it doesn't make it. But again, I get surprised a lot. But boy, that'll be one that, you know, I think that'll be a really interesting one to look at. And of course, we've talked about the silver, you know, over and over here, but we're getting closer and closer. We're only about $1.40 away in silver, and that's not much. That's you know, 4 or 5 days action or even less. But you'll notice that this silver chart certainly gets you down to this level of $15 per ounce. Now, well, I won't go into that. But anyway, we'll be watching these very, very closely. And these are all related to what's happening, of course, with the euro and the U.S. dollar. The euro has made some type of a major top, folks. And we tested it this week at the 78% level, at that 124 and change level. But the one to look at is this long-term weekly chart on the euro, because it is such a technically beautiful chart. You'll notice that the high we made up there 2 weeks ago at the 126 level, that was a 61% retracement of the high from 2014, and it was a 382 retracement from the all-time high that we had in 2008. And by the way, this is the anniversary of the Bear Stearns being sold, I think, for $2 or $3 a share. I don't remember exactly the price, but I do remember Bear Stearns because their largest broker, their largest commercial broker, Jeff Asoff, I got him into this business 30 years ago when he was just getting out of UCLA. His mother and father were big supporters of Ronald Reagan, and Jeff was a business student, and he was going to go in there either to insurance or to into stocks. And since I was doing stocks, he used to come into the Drexel office and see what I was doing, and he saw a few of these you know, celebrities come in, and he said, yep, this is my kind of business. And boy, does he's made an absolute fortune. In 2008, when the market was going straight up, he and his wife bought a home in Beverly Hills for $4 million. And she did not like it, so they tore it down and built a $7 million house. So they're in the place about 11 million. It's ultra modern. The other one was a beautiful 1920 Spanish home, and now it's ultra modern. But when Bear Stearns got to 153, and I talked to Jeff occasionally, but then I was talking to him more. I told him, I said, you know, protect yourself here, because you know this thing is way, way overvalued. And he had he put $1 million into puts for the Bear Stearns, and it saved him because he lost a huge amount of money, but the $1 million got back about 7 of the 27 million that he lost when they went down quite a bit. So we'll see. So Danny's telling us that the post yesterday in Amazon was 15.17.15, which was 1.618. Yes, it was Tucker that said that. That's correct. And I don't know where Amazon is trading right now, folks. I was more interested in seeing Arizona win, and boy, did they really stubbed their toe yesterday. But I believe that it hit that exact number, 15.17.5, which was the exact 1.618. That's that same number that we looked at with the, it's trading at 1581 now. Wow, that's a little bit above 1517, so that number doesn't work anymore. So let me pull up the chart of Amazon. I don't look at it very often. Jeff Bezos calls me about 3 days a week asking me what he should do with his stock, and I continue to tell him to hold for higher prices, but someday it might be a sell. We'll have to wait and see here. Oh, yes, it went way above that 1.618 number, I guess. So I guess that doesn't work anymore. And that happens, that happens all the time. So just keep in mind that those are the things that we see going on. We got gold down here at 13.15. I still think we've got and euros making new lows. We bounced about 40 pips yesterday after we made that low at 13.20, and then it just kept going lower. Stay tuned for Norm Wincy. We've got some great Astro stuff coming up, folks.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're talking with Norm Wincy from Astro Trends in Naples, Florida. Norm, how are you?
Great, Larry. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for the information about the NASDAQ. And also, you mentioned that Bear Stearns was sold for $10 a share?
Yep, I got that on Wikipedia.
I think Wikipedia has made a mistake. I'm almost sure it was $3 a share. Okay. Hey, Norm, let's stick with Wikipedia because the old gray matter and the old Cowboys armamentarium seems to be slipping a bit. So
Okay.
I would stick with that one is what I would do.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start,
Anyways,
Norm.
go ahead.
Oh, wait, I got a question. One of the people is asking, how much was a seat when they first started trading? Do you remember back in 71?
Oh, seat on what?
At the NASDAQ.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't think there was a seat. There was an exchange. It was just a network of dealers. That's all.
Okay. And how about the CBOE seats? How much were they going for?
At what point?
When you first, since later, when in the early 70s when you were there.
Oh, I paid 25,000.
Well, that's still pretty cheap. A lot more than that now.
That was 1975. They opened their doors on April 26, 1973.
Mm-hmm.
The seats were originally offered at $10,000 when they first started.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, my friend, go right ahead and start the show.
All right, so when I was last on the 9th of March, I went over these different points here and what was coming up. We were right on top of a big planetary cluster, including the night before we had Jupiter turning retrograde. That's one of my big things when the planets go to retrograde or direct. That's due to the relative motion of the Earth to the other planets. It appears, that's your operative word, it appears when you look out the night sky that the planets individually look like they look like they stop their motion and reverse their direction. It's like you're driving on your highway at 60. The speedometer says, hey, you're doing 60, and you look out your side window, and all of a sudden it looks like you're going backwards. That's all but relative motion, you see. So, but that's Einstein would tell you that's important. Your relative position as it shifts with other bodies changes the energy field. So there you go. So I find that when the planets change trend, the markets change trend with a high percentage, high batting average, So my other big thing is when the planets get to, as they go around the sun, they're like horses on a carousel. They go around and around, but they also go up and down. And so when they get to back to their highway, which is called the ecliptic at 0 latitude, that's another big energy point. Those are my top 2 planetary phenomena that are really above and beyond all the other stuff. That's the stuff that can cause your Bradley model to go crazy and flip upside down. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so here we go. We had Jupiter in Scorpio turn retrograde. We had some important cycles to the U.S., which is going to conjure up your U.S. Financials with U.S. stock market, U.S. Treasury bonds, and the U.S. dollar. And then we also had some more of the same with Jupiter in Scorpio doing some stuff to Neptune and Pisces. So that's in addition to your Scorpio markets of cocoa, hogs, oil, let's make that oats and bonds. And we're not going to bother with the oats because nobody trades them except for the horses. And then Jupiter in Scorpio and to Saturn in Capricorn and so forth. So we're going to look at these markets out and see it all came out. Here's my mathematical points for the stock market based on some sort of, you might call it Gann math or whatever, square days, Pythagorean music math, and so forth, And then I have the Fibonacci dates here I do Fibonacci time cycles. So we have the 13th to the 14th, and then look at that. Right now, we're up at the next cluster, the 16th to the 19th, big cluster. S&P we have had back on the 12th, which was the Monday following the Friday I was on. And then we have these astro dates here. There's the 9th, the day I was last on. Monday the 12th, we have the 13th. Then the next big cluster started yesterday and into the weekend big time. All right, so let's go look at the S&P chart there. There we are right today, right now. This is last night. S&P chart is kind of traded into like a little corner here and an inflection point. And so if we go much lower than we yesterday, and we could break this line here. That's an important trend line. And if we go much higher, we're going to break out to the upside. In either case, within about 1 to 2 trading days, we're probably going to get a reversal. So even if we go up here, we got the big reversal with the new, we got the new moon over the weekend, and we got the big cluster energy. We're going to look at those in a minute. and it'll probably reverse. And if you're an LA waiver, you had a big AB, had a kind of an ABC down. Now we got an ABC going up, and we're kind of missing the last leg of that. And so we could get one more rally up, and then you could be in. This could have been also a 2-wave up, because you look like you're doing a 3-wave going up. And if it rolls over now and starts going down, you could be in the third of the third, which is the nastiest, the lean and the longest and strongest part of the move,
Norm, we have a question from one of our listeners about your work with WD Gann. Do you use Gann's traditional square of 9, is what they're asking?
Only not very often anymore. No, I found a system to supersede that. That the planets, the key times, give you the key prices. So I don't, here's what people don't realize. Most of the stuff that people go on the internet and find to study Gann, you're looking through the telescope from the wrong end. Mr. Gann, first and foremost, was an astrologer. He would get the big picture and say, oh, here's my key date for this market. Then he would get out a square 9 or whatever it was to fine-tune where he should put his order in to nail it down. If you're trading it, maybe you'd be trading soybeans. Oh, should I put it in my order in at 381 or 381 and a half? That kind of thing. You fine-tune with the square 9. So that's just a fun, back on the old TVs there, Larry. I'm sure you remember the old TVs. You get on the right channel, and then you use fine-tuning dial to tune in the picture. That's what the square 9 is. I can do that on a calculator, by the way, much faster and easier on a calculator, a cheap calculator, than I can on the actual physical square 9.
Okay, thank you. That was a question that they asked.
When the folks sign up for my class, if they ask me for that, I can teach them that in about 2 minutes. And then they can dance between the cracks on the square 9. They don't have to adhere to the numbers on the paper, What if you have something that turned at 51 and a half? That's not on the page, Right? Okay. All right, there you go. We got cocoa is one of our Scorpio markets, and I was looking for the cocoa to top out. It kind of topped out, but didn't want to roll over. It's being stubborn, and so I'm going to have to call that one a miss. I was looking for the that cluster there right around the 12th and the 13th, and we actually went 8 points higher there on the I think the 14th. So you could probably it might have taken a small loss there of about 8 points. What's that? About $80 there, right, Larry?
I think so. I don't really trade cocoa anymore. I haven't for 40 years. So they get along without me, and I get along without them. So I won't bother them.
All right, but it's tasty anyway, right?
Well, I don't drink. My grandsons drink hot chocolate, but not me. Go ahead, Norm. Sorry for interrupting.
All right, but on the other hand, the hogs treat us a lot nicer.
Oh, we got to pay some, Norm. We got to pay some bills. Can you come back with us after the break?
Absolutely.
You bet. Norm Winsky of Astro Trends, Naples, Florida, 877-927-6648.
Would you like exposure to the foreign currency markets without any downside risk to your principal? Then consider the Petro Currencies Market Safe CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD leverages the performance of 4 equally weighted currencies from these top oil-producing countries: Brazil, Canada, Mexico, and Russia. This CD features a 200% leverage factor, which means that your potential upside payment will be double the currency's average performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And if the returns are negative, your principal's 100% protected. Returns are based on CD performance with no correlation to the price of oil, and there is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. The April 19th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA FSB, member FDIC.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
We're back, folks. We're talking with Norm Winsky of Astro Trends. Norm, you want to go ahead and continue?
Yes, sir. So we're looking at the hog chart now. When the reason I brought up these markets last week on Friday the 9th is because we had multi-day planetary clusters indicating these were going to be active markets. And so when we get these multi-day clusters, sometimes they work together to give you one giant turn. Sometimes they work individually, and then you might get whipsaw type action. So here's the hogs are kind of more in the whipsaw mode here. They made a high on the 9th, a low the next on Monday the 12th, made a high on Tuesday the 13th, and the 14th, kind of a secondary top. And then we went down, down, down. Now we're at the bottom. By the way, I think you mentioned hogs a day or so ago. It looks like they're near the bottom of their channel now, and we're coming into another big change in trend point here with the new moon and this big cluster coming up.
You think that'll be early in the week on the hogs?
If they're going to turn, yeah. If they, of course, if they break the channel, then it's a whole new ball game, right? You know. Then you got
how much would you risk on something like this, Norm?
Probably not much more than a handle or so, right?
So you're around $400 maximum.
Yeah, but you can see we're getting close to the bottom. Look at that. This channel goes all the way back to early February. It's been working pretty well, you know. Right? So you know.
Indeed, it has. Indeed, it has.
There you go. Here's your T-bond. See, by the way, you're going to think I'm crazy, but what's new, right? These smart cocoa hogs and bonds are astro cousins. So you notice that doesn't mean they're going to go in the same direction, but they'll often have turning points about the same time. Now, the T-bonds are kind of like a second cousin because they have some other variables thrown in there with the U.S. cycles and so forth, you know. Okay. So anyway, here we go. Here's your bonds. They rallied off the bottom. I was looking for a low there on the bonds, I believe, last Friday there, and we've rallied up now. Now we're close to the top of this channel, you know, right? I think you're looking for a top here soon, right?
Pretty close, yeah. Yep. We'll see.
Okay, so if we get there and we roll over like, maybe by Monday or so, then that will be correct. If we break out, then it's a whole new ball game. That could be huge if that happened. I kind of agree with you. It looks like it's written in the stars that interest rates are going higher, right? So, there you go. All right, let's go off now. Talk about crude oil is also indicated here. It was indicated, I should say, and I think it's coming up too. In that we had a little top there right on Monday the 12th, as expected. Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to go look at coffee. I talked about coffee was looking like the big energy there for the coffee last week, and you can see there we made a nice double top there on the 12th and the 13th, right on our cycles there, as expected. Then we turned down. Okay. And we're going to look into the future. Let's get our crystal ball out, Larry, and look into the future here now. Starting yesterday is the next big cluster of planetary energy. We had Mercury doing at an extreme there yesterday morning, and that was possibly some kind of turning point for your grains, especially corn, oats, especially soybeans, stocks, and wheat. After the close last night, we have some negative cycles hitting for the U.S., and I heard two really bad news items overnight, which was we had the bridge collapse in Miami. You probably heard about that, and I guess there was a helicopter down in Iraq. Or so one of our we lost maybe a crew on a helicopter in Iraq. First aviation down in Iraq in a long time, I guess, And so there we go. So and then we come in here to the weekend. We have another negative thing with the U.S. coming up here over the weekend, and then we have a big cluster of Mars cycles all coming together this weekend, along with the new moon in Pisces. Pisces is is the fish. That's the big water, and the big liquid in commodity land is oil, right? And so we also have round up our usual suspects for our new moon or full moon, which is grains, precious metals, financials, and the commodity index. The commodity index of oil, those come under Pisces. Those are our special. Our special of the special for this new moon. Then we got, as I mentioned, Mars is going to change signs. That's another often a good short-term change in trend point when you change signs with Mars. That's going to the Capricorn, which is coffee. So let's go look at these markets now. There's your S&P. I just showed you that chart a little while ago, and we're kind of at an inflection point here on the chart. Here's your dates for the stock market, my key dates. I have the market math coming up for the weekend, the 17th. By the way, there's a big geomagnetic storm being forecasted for, I believe, Sunday the 18th. Here's my Fibonacci time cycles. I got two hits here coming up for the 16th to the 19th. That's today to Monday. And my Astro, looking back at some major turns on the S&P, doing the Astro on the harmonics on those. That comes out to Monday the 19th. Are you starting to see a pattern here, Larry?
Yep. It looks like the 19th. You got it.
16th to the 19th, right? This is going to be a potentially big change in trend window. Now we just need the markets to set up right to give you a good opportunity. Here's your T-bonds again. So we're going to be looking at your financials. That includes T-bonds. And like we said, there's the same chart. We're near the top of the channel. On your dollar, you're kind of getting into a wedgie pattern here, and the dollar is getting narrower and narrower. Often when you get one of these planetary events, the cycles, it'll occur right at the right where you get to the apex of a triangular wedge, and then you'll break out, and then you'll get the move. Coming up here on your coffee, there's your coffee. The coffee's kind of in the middle of its range. Be nice to see the coffee move down here if you're going to make a low, and that seems to be like the most likely thing. But if we rally back up, then you're looking at another top. This is lowest. If we got down here to this green line, which is a parallel to the red line, we'd probably looking at about 116 to 118 area. That'd be really low that'd be like a multi-month low for coffee. Corn has been pulling back now, and we're kind of coming to an inflection point here where it's going to break out one way or the other. And I would be real comfortable buying the corn on this small pullback here right at a new moon. Could be wrong, but I'd really like to see it break the green line and get a little bit of a panic down here over the next day or so.
Someone's asked a question about a long-term assessment in the grains. Do you have anything in your crystal ball that says that we could be looking at something even more dramatic in the corn over a long period of time? Because we've got planting intentions coming up here in just a few days on the 31st. Do you see anything long-term?
No, I don't pay any attention to any of that fundamental stuff. I already showed you last time I was on there. They were talking about, we had the drought in Argentina, and I forecasted the top, and despite the drought and the beans, there's not going to be any soybeans, and then the beans topped out and went down. So the corn and the gold, I will touch on that a little bit. Corn and gold are astro cousins under my theory. And so I got a huge 18.6-year cycle coming, like in the fall. So something big's going to go on with these markets. Corn, gold, anything that's golden, anything golden, golden corn, golden. Gold and gold. Anyway, the gold is kind of stuck in the middle. I don't know what you think, Larry. I see it kind of stuck in the middle here. It'd be nice if we could pull back here in the next day or so to 1310 area. At least you have a shot there at maybe having a point to buy.
Hey, Norm, stay with us, and when we come back, you can tell us about your service and how the folks can get in contact with you, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks. Bye. See you soon.
Happy Irish Day, too, by the way, for you Irish fellows.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental, so I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archived workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earn me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Norm Winski of Astro 10. Norm, go ahead and continue on, my friend, of how folks could get in touch with you and stuff.
Right now, so just to give you anybody new out there, give you a little background, I've been studying the stock market since I was 15. I'm 67 now. I was investing in college, making money. That led to, as Larry alluded earlier, to my buying a seat on the fledgling CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange, in 1975. I did that for 12 years, also traded on the Chicago Board of Trade, and so forth. Here's my quick Irish story. So I picked the, for member badge, I picked the letters NOW. So in the morning, I go into the coat room to pick up my trading jacket, and the guy running it was an Irish guy. I think it's Jimmy O'Brien or something like that. And I say, oh, you know, he see me coming. He goes, oh, it's Norman Owinski. he tried to make me Irish. You know, he tried to turn me into an Irish guy. All right, there you go. That's my funny little story. So anyway, so you can get my letter for free and a free class. You have to take the class to get the letter, otherwise you won't understand what you're looking at. But I'm going to teach some power tools so you can save a lot of time in analyzing these markets, and let the solar system be your computer, because the key times will give you the key prices. You don't have to be predicting the price in advance. So just contact me. I cover 30 markets, mostly futures markets. And here's all my contact information here now. I'm in beautiful sunny Naples, Florida. A little chilly here lately. But it's nice here, and 239-594-3939. There's my email, Nwinski, Nwinski, at embark, EMBARQMAIL.com, and my Skype is Norm, NORM.WINSKI. Any questions, Larry, from the gallery there or whatever?
No, I think that's great. The first question is, when do you think you'll be on again? Another couple of weeks? And if something comes up that you see, please let us know, and we'll have you on as a cameo.
You know what's coming up next week is one of your favorites, Larry, Mercury retrograde, I think on the 22nd.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you on as a cameo that day.
A cameo, do a walk-on.
Yeah. Hey, listen, thanks a lot, Norman. Happy Irish Day to you. The top of the morning to you, mate.
There you go. Thanks, Larry.
877-927-6648.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!